Hey Trails Collective, Ian here for the weekly rundown ending on my birthday, February 5th, 2021. So, last night, or actually this morning, I released a gear review video. This one on the North Face Flight Vective Trail Shoe. Another one that I've been waiting pretty anxiously for probably a little under 2 years, about a year and a half since I saw it in conceptualization or as it was in pre-development. And you'll have to tune in. It was a fun one to wear and test, so check that review out. And it was also a follow-up to one from last week, which was the Vective Infinite. And I'll do a comparison of those coming up here pretty shortly as well. And then the next one on deck will be the Topo Ultra Venture 2. It's one I actually put in the testing for a couple weeks ago, just haven't gotten around to doing the video, so stay tuned for that. In either, I think it might be either tonight or tomorrow night we'll do it, TC Live interview series. I'll be connecting with PA and Vermont studdess Nicole Yokum. So keep your eye out for that, and it would be great if you could tune in, answer some questions, or ask some questions rather, and I don't know, just join us. In other media, CULTRA released episode 113 last Friday. They connected with all-around good guy and runner of the month after his New Jersey point-to-point FKT, Cole Crosby. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but it sounds like it was a good time, as the CULTRA crew pretty much always is. And the Gunks runners, Pain Cave, released episode 78 just yesterday or Tuesday. It's 20 questions with Kaytlyn Gerbin. She's a Transgrancanaria champ and new FKT record holder on the Wonderland Trail out around Rainier, an absolutely spectacular route. Results. This past weekend, two events went down that were, that went down. First one, which wasn't initially on my radar until I saw Becky Kosek post up on it. CJs Resolution run ran this past Saturday in Mifflingburg, PA, an event from, quoting them, resolved to overcoming the challenges of autism. For me, my first career path was as an occupational therapist, and I spent probably about a year and a half of my first 2 years working with children with autistic spectrum disorders. So definitely hits home a little bit for me on that one. I was able to check in with Eric and Becky and their family who went and ran it. And we are going to hear from Becky and the girls weighing in here. So take it.
Hello runners, this is the Kosek family bringing you a review about CJ's Resolution Challenge, a race that we did this past weekend. CJ's Resolution happens at RB Winter State Park, and you have two options. You can do the Revolutions, which is a 1.6 mile loop that you just keep doing over and over again for 3 hours to try to get as many as you can. Or you can do the Last Man Standing event, which starts, I believe, at 20 minutes to complete a lap. But then each lap, it counts down to 19, 18 minutes until the last person is standing. Eric, Mr. Speedy Fast, came in first place and with 16 laps and had to go out a little bit extra to get in that marathon. I completed 13 laps with 21 miles, and the girls did
6 laps.
9
miles. 9 miles.
Okay. We were a little concerned with the weather. This is our 4th year doing it for Eric and I. We did it 2 years ago by ourselves, and then the past 2 years as a whole family. The girls wanted to join us. So when we found out the weather was going to be really cold, it was supposed to be like a high of 20 or 24 and really icy. We were unsure about whether all of us were going to make it or not. Did you guys ever consider not going?
We always knew that we wanted to go. When we found out it would be really icy, my dad put screws in our shoes to make it grip to the ice more.
We even packed snow pants just in case the girls got cold. That way, if they did, they could put them on and keep on trucking. Was it fun?
Yeah.
3 hours is a long time to be out there.
Yeah, we ran with a friend, and we just hung out. It was a lot of fun.
You play any games?
Maybe. We've played some tag.
What were the rules in your tag?
That we couldn't go backwards. We only could go forwards. Because otherwise you're going to try to go backwards, and that's not the point. You want to go forwards.
You get as far as you can, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of people there that we knew, so it was It was nice. Eric and I never had to worry about the kids. It was an easy loop to follow, and they knew lots of people out there. Did you talk with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun time, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. It wasn't nearly as cold as I was worried about. The sun was out, so it was a gorgeous day, actually, to be running. It was a nice way to put in a long run, and CJ's Challenge is also a fundraiser for autism, so you can take a look at these pretty cool swag that they got. They're homemade plaques.
And then we got these buffs with photos from years before.
How about the medals?
Oh.
Can you show them? Yeah, they were really cool. Okay. Nope. Well, we had an awesome time, and I would recommend that race to anybody. You can run it as hard as you want to or take it as easy as you want to, and bring your friends. All right, have a good day. Kosek's out.
And then UberEndurance Sports Naked Nick. It was one that pushed back to this past weekend in Leesport, PA. James Smith and Tiffany England walked away with the 25K wins in a 240 entrant field. And for the 50K, Justin Scheid and Justyna Wilson took the women's wins, men's and women's wins with a 105 finisher field. And I was able to check in with Tiffany England as well as Stephen, her husband, who finished ninth in the 50K event. So Tiffany and Stephen, cue us into this past weekend.
I'm Tiffany England.
And I'm Stephen England. This past weekend, we ran the Naked Nick. It's a 25K or 50K trail race in Pennsylvania. It's one of the few races that's on the calendar right now. So we kind of found it last minute and said, yeah, let's do that. About 500 runners took part, and I did the 50, Tiffany did 25. The reason we signed up was different reasons. Mine was I've got some longer races coming up this year, hopefully. Cocodona 250 in Arizona in May. So I'm finally scared and ready to run long. So this was a great first test.
Yeah, and I've actually been dealing with injury the past year, so this is my first long, hard race effort since injury in January of last year. I think we were both just really excited to get out there and challenge ourselves and have fun at a trail race. The course itself was really runnable. I thought it was super fun. It was a lollipop, so you went out 6 miles. There was an aid station on the way, aid station at the end. You did a little loop around a 4-mile loop, hit that same aid station, and then retraced your steps back 6 miles to the start-finish area. The terrain was a mix of fire road, gravel, some single track. Nothing too crazy. I thought it was just really fun.
Yeah, Tiffany likes to say that, but she forgets that I had to do it twice. So when there was some big climbs in the middle 4-mile loop thing, there was two really big climbs. I had to remind you that I had to come back and do it again, and you didn't care, rightly so. So it's hilly, but it was beginner friendly-ish.
Yeah, it was really friendly. The cutoffs were really generous, so didn't matter whether you're doing the 25 or the 50K. You had until 5 p.m. to finish, so that was 8-9 hours. So really great if you're a hiker or a beginner. You could do the 25K in that amount of time, which I thought was just fantastic. We saw so many people out there. It was really inclusive for runners of all abilities.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to see everyone going for it in a really cold but cool day.
Yeah.
So COVID. We want to talk about COVID as well because we think that the event UberEndurance Sports did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
They had mandatory masks at the start area, finish, and the aid stations. We also pulled up our buff or mask, but we wore buffs.
I had a mask.
You had a mask, okay, one of each. So we pulled those up on that out and back section when we saw a different runner, just to be respectful, like we would anywhere else as we go around our, living our lives right now. And they had a really interesting start. So every 3 seconds from 8 a.m. they let someone leave, and it was based off your ultra sign up history or your ranking. Tiffany's score is really, really high compared to mine. So I gate crashed and I jumped in with her, and we started just after 8 o'clock, and we got into our race.
Yeah, it was actually really fun to be able to start together, even though we were doing different distances. We just kind of Our
because
goal
you
is
dropped me.
it was just to go out there and have fun. I think the best part was on the out and back when we were coming back in, we saw people going out, like heading out on their first loop, and everyone was just like, spirits were really high. Everyone was enthusiastic, like cheering each other on, like, oh my gosh, you're doing amazing, and like giving that encouragement back. I think it just made the day like really special. We were just all excited to be out there spending time on the trails.
I mean, it was our first race in a year, right? So it's
Yeah.
a long time.
It was a long time. So I finished my loop, and then Stephen had to go back out for his second loop, and that's when it started snowing. Yeah.
But Tiffany likes to forget one small detail about her 25k race, is that she won her race and she set the course record. So she, did an amazing job, and she dropped me a lot. So yeah, she crushed it.
You were going twice as far.
Well, yeah, and a lot slower. So the snow came, the course looked very different, obviously got slippery, definitely more challenging, snow in my eyes, lost contact lens, it was great. So yeah, I finished 50k a couple of hours later, and it was freezing cold, but luckily we had an amazing kind of finish area setup.
Yeah, the post race, there was a great spread of hot food and hot beverages for everyone. I was actually really impressed for what I thought would be like a smaller, more low-key race. It was just really well done overall. They did an amazing job. Like, we just had a great time out there. It was a fun day. Even with this major snowstorm coming in, thankfully, I think we finished before the worst of it.
Yeah, and maybe the icing on the cake was our finisher medals, which are Christmas tree decorations, because it was Naked Nick. It was a delayed race from December into last weekend. So if you want to do this race, we recommend it. We think it's great.
Yeah.
You can get a tree decoration for 2021 for your tree. So sign up whenever you can. Go for it. Happy trails.
And then UberEndurance, for those who it's not already on your radar, put on really good classic community runs based in Pennsylvania. I'm signed up for the, which one is it? Naked Bavarian, I think, on February 27th. So that's coming up. I think I'm in the 40-mile field. If you're not already signed up, I think you still can. Come out, join me, and share some miles. All right, upcoming events. Saturday, February 6th, the Sasquatch Trail Running's Squatchy Onesie Fest and 5K Marathon. Slated for Saturday, February 6th. They modified to a wave start format to keep it under 25 people a wave, and per the New Jersey mitigation requirement. And just, I didn't catch it last week or the week prior when I mentioned the event, but the inspiration for the event, in quotes, or the conversation. You guys should put on an event where everyone has to wear a onesie. That sounds like an amazing idea. It should be in the dead of winter. Done. So no doubt quality event. It's a 5K, and playing on the theme of individuals who just really don't follow running, saying, how was your 5K marathon? So check it out this weekend. Saturday, February 13th, Valentine's in the Pines Trail 4-miler in Beechwood, New Jersey. A number of waves already capped, but a few slots remain. And for all these, we'll have the links plugged. The Algonquin 50K with a duck bonus the night before in Maryland. That one is sold out or closed out. Holiday Lake 50K, 25K and 50K in Appomattox, Virginia. As of filming, there were only 2 spots remaining for the 50K, which I plugged on the Virginia Happy Trails Facebook. So if that's actually accurate, and there's anybody who's interested, by the time I get this live, I'm guessing those 2 slots will be gone. And there's 80 that remain for the 25K. Sunday, February 14th, the Squirrely Tail Twale 1 half marathon in Lewisburg, PA. And yeah, that's what's coming up in February, at least the next couple weekends. And then looking at the Ultra Sign Up hot list of what registrations are open and potentially closing out here pretty soon for you to get on now. So as I mentioned, the Squatchy Onesie Fest, that one is 96% full, I believe, at this point. The Valley Trail Series Winter Race number 5, a 12-miler slated for February 21st in Alpine, New Jersey, is 95% full. The Nipmuc South Trail Race's 14.5-miler, a Sweet Connecticut Classic, slated for June 13th. That's 98% full. I did plug that also in a couple Connecticut Facebook groups, so that may be capped out by the time I get this video live. And English's Ridge Rumble, 10-miler, April 17th in Fayetteville, New York, crept up 6% on the charts this week to being 92% full. And one of my events, Cayuga Trail's 50K 50 mile, is creeping up also into the warning category and being 78% full. A truly beautiful course, probably one of the most beautiful courses in the Northeast. So for sure, check that out if it's not already on your radar. And we also have integrated a 10K-ish event into the mix, which is Lucifer's Crossing, run same day as well. Really beautiful course, so check that out. And the Run Amok 50K, running on April 4th in Brownsville, Vermont, crept up 13% this past week and is now 94% full. So at that pace, it'll cap by this weekend, so get on it now if you're interested. And then 6 hours at the Reservoir, slated for May 15th in Ansonia, Connecticut, is 94% full, so check that out. All right. FKTs for FKT Friday! New Hampshire, Ben Thompson notched an impressive 1 hour 29 minutes for the 12.6 kilometer Franconia Ridge Loop. A beautiful loop in the whites over Mount Lafayette, Mount Lincoln, and Little Haystack on the Franconia Ridge. This route's had a pretty good history, competitive history of fast times. Ben's time shaved just under 3 minutes off of Stephen Lang's mark from just this past July. Nice work, Ben. Aaron Carlisle in New Jersey, 2 hours 25 minutes for the 13.5 mile Wayanda State Park Loop. A beautiful park, which I only know about. I haven't stopped in to try to explore their trails. Shaved 15 minutes from the men's unsupported prior mark. And last one in New York, David Kilgore answered back in reclaiming a 50-kilometer Manhattan Loop mark, this time lowering the men's unsupported mark by just under 20 minutes to 3 hours and 22 minutes. So for all of those who aren't paying attention or following along, even if paved and pretty flat, 3 hours and 22 minutes is a pretty fast 50K. So nice work, David. So that's what I got this week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us for the TC Lives interview this week with Nicole. Checking out our reviews, following our YouTube channel, liking us, spreading the word, plugging in on the Trails Collective community page. And yeah, that's what I got. So hope you're all having fun playing in the snow, and I will check in with you next week. See ya!